so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome everybody to Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast, episode 200 from the heavens with Jack Evans. Yes, that's right. You heard it.
We need you as the ring announcer in every promotion across America. Oh, wow. That's how it's done. We need that metal ring announcer. My God. Oh, okay. I thought I was listening to Cannibal Corpse. This is the best introduction ever.
Yes, brother, yes. And I am so fucking stoked. I got half chub right now knowing that you are aware of Cannibal Corpse, man. Let's just jump in right there, dude.
They had an old, like, hype you up at the gym song I used to have way back when iPods were still a thing, was Hammer Smash Face by Cannibal Corpse. So I always remember that song.
Fuck yeah, brother. It's got to be one of the heaviest fucking songs ever written.
The drums are just like boom, boom, not even like that. It's just like this constant, and like it was like literally the best pump you up song ever. Like it was totally one that made you feel like a Viking in the battlefield or something. Like so, I always remember that.
Totally. Turkey leg in one hand, goblet of booze in the other.
That's right, brother. That's right. That's a good jumping point, though, Jack, because for everybody out there watching and listening right now, you know, we like to do things that are a little bit different from everybody else, man. We like to get a little personal, if you will. What kind of music are you into, man? What are you rocking out? Like, what were you into as a kid up all the way up until now?
As a kid, I was like, I'm a little bit random. As a kid, it was everything from like Weezer, specifically like the first album, the Blue one.
Album, yeah.
I don't like Pinkerton as much, even though most people are the opposite. And Green Day, like kind of like the pop punky styles. And then I really liked Prodigy. Like I worshipped the Prodigy as a kid. And then it was like Eminem and Biggie and all that. And I got into rap and then like, some Celtic punk. So yeah, it's kind of varied, but like mainly I would say late 90s to mid 2000s rap was like my main one, and then probably like I listened to a lot of like Celtic punk, Flogging Molly and stuff like that would probably be my second. And then you know what I actually have gotten into? I used to have a 45-minute walk to go to the gym, so I just had this thing where I would find playlists of the weirdest musical genres. So it'd be like 50 minutes of like dark carnival music or whatever. But there's one I found called Dark Country, and it's so not normally what I would listen to, but I'm actually rocking with that a lot. I really enjoy those dark country songs. So a lot of that recently.
Dark Country, that's when I had. What is that? Like some fucking Danzig 2 era?
No, it's almost like you know how like a lot of Iron Maiden songs will almost be like a history lesson where like you're talking about Alexander the Great or like Passchendaele and stuff, you know what I mean? Like that. It's like a country version of that, but the history lesson is about the Old West, you know what I mean? So it'll be like Billy the Kid story or whatever. So like
that's
it's
awesome.
like just really twangy, like gloomy country music, but it's almost like the role playing as if they were still in the Old West. It sounds weird, but I actually really enjoy it.
Dude, I'd have to check that out because I am not a country fan myself, but
this is way different than what you're thinking of, though. Like, well, it's country, but I mean, it's so twangy. Like, it literally, it's like country, like a modern version of like country music they would have made back in the day. It's not like
okay. That's what I'm looking for, brother. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I want like that Johnny Cash, you know, dark shit. You know?
Yeah, there you go. So more along those lines. Like,
fuck yeah. Dude, I just found this out today on the way home. But you lived with X-Pac for a decent amount of time, right?
Yeah, like over a year.
What was that like, dude? What's your relationship like with him nowadays?
No, we don't talk enough. I still talk to him every now and then, but it was absolutely amazing because he was one of my favorites as a kid, like in a hero style. So it was great to like meet him and live with him and everything. But then above that, like he's actually a really great guy. Like he's one of those guys where I know he had some problems, and a lot of those problems were made public. So he has like I think, kind of almost a bad reputation amongst fans, but he really is actually one of the greatest people I've ever met. Like, absolute, just real honest guy. Like, I can't say enough good things about X-Pac.
Were you guys at the time you guys were living together? He wasn't in the Fed at the time, was he?
No, he was with AAA Lucha Libre Pro Wrestling.
Speaking of AAA, dude, I don't play it much anymore these days, but I remember I still have the video game, which you were a part of, man. The Heroes Del Ring, the hardest motherfucking game ever to play.
That game was pretty freaking bad, and there's been a lot of bad wrestling games, but that might be number one. And
oh shit!
I just remember how bad it was before, but the people, I think their name was Slang, was the name of the company that was developing it. And they brought it once, like, to Mexico, like to the office or something, like a little demo of it. And it was one of those things where I was like, this is the shits or whatever. But I was just like, oh, yeah, it's so fun. It's great. Like, I didn't know what to do because I didn't feel like I could give them real feedback without getting heat. But, like, yeah, that one, AAA wrestling game was, you know, I give them an A for effort. But, man, it was something else.
Yeah, I think the best part about that game might be the fucking intro with La Parca doing the fucking.
Yeah, probably.
It's so fucking difficult, and the controls are weird.
I know for sure the best part of that game, that it resulted in the Konami press conference at E3. Did you all ever see that?
No.
Oh, they had it to advertise the game. Because I think Konami like published it or released it or whatever. And they wanted AAA wrestlers there to do like a fake weigh-in and stuff at I'm pretty sure it was E3, and then it just turned into like this total like they didn't really speak English. The luchadors they didn't know what was going on, so like there's this like fake little pushing thing. It just looked so bad. It was like right there in front of the Konami president. That was like right before the game was released. It's one of those things you got to look it up to really know how bad of an abortion it was.
I definitely looking that
like
up.
The most awkward. Like no one really knew what they were supposed to be doing. Like
I couldn't believe that the game dropped. To tell you the truth, because I mean, what was that? That was like 2000. Fuck, I don't know. 6? 5? Somewhere around there?
No. It was after that. I want to say it was probably 2010.
Yeah, because it was the TNA game released in 2008, and it seemed almost like a carbon copy, but worse than the Impact game.
There was that one really bad TNA game. I can't remember it. And I would have said before that out of like kind of major releases, maybe you could find some Flash game that's worse or something, but on major releases, that was the worst wrestling game until AAA Lucha Libre came out.
And dude, you're a big gamer. You do Twitch and shit. From what I understand, you're big in what? The fighting games?
Well, kind of. I have a fake reputation. I do play a lot of fighting games, but I suck at all of them. So all of a sudden, we were used to fighting game, or we still do. We do fighting game Friday. It used to be Tekken 7, and it was just like me and like we're all like beginning to intermediate players.
Yeah.
But for some reason on Twitter, it got spread out that Jack is this fighting game guy, and all of a sudden, man, these crazy like they give you titles on the ring in Tekken, so like you're fighting people called like Prime Tekken Lords and stuff, and like
and they're probably like 6 or 7.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So when like I just got smoked. So I am a fighting game guy, but not in that like competitive sense, like the casual fighting game. Like I'm playing DNF Duel right now, and like the highest I made it was like Gold 1 on the ranked, which is like you're an intermediate player. So, but on Twitter, somehow people, I think they think I'm way better than fighting games than I actually am because, man.
So if y'all want to kick Jack's ass, just log on and load up the game.
I'll play with you. I'll play. Okay. I can take my loss, but man, some of these, I don't know if you all play Tekken, but.
I have Tekken 7. I usually play as, I thought it was cool they put Negan in there, man.
Oh, yeah, Negan's cool. Easy D, peasy, lemon squeezy. But okay, right. So you know the juggles? It's one of those games, man, where like you go for a jab and then all of a sudden you're just launched into the air and 3/4 of your life is gone. And when I try to like repeat it back, I just have the most simple juggles. So I can't compete with some of these people online because you make one mistake and it's like it's almost over. Yeah,
dude, it's insane. Like I considered myself. I've been playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter since the early fucking 90s. You know, I think we're the same age. You're 82, right?
Yep, 82.
All right, cool. 10-4-82 here. And dude, growing up, I'd always whoop everybody's ass. But as fighting games progressed, got more evolved, and you know, they start hitting like these newer, like the Xboxes and all that shit. Like for instance, MK11. I jumped on the live as soon as I got that real quick because I knew that people were going to suck for about 5 minutes. And then once, like I said, the 7, 8-year-old, 10-year-old kids, they're getting it to have nothing else to do besides become gods at this game. We'll start whooping your ass online live, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That happened to the King of Fighters 15. I was loving it for the first month, but then exactly like you said, you just get all these crazy ass kids that whoop everyone's ass, and like people just start quitting the game. So it takes longer to get a game, and so you finally get a game, and I'm sitting there like level 11 fighting someone that's like ranked level 37 or something like that, and I'm telling you, it's like the most humbling experience in the world because, like you, when I used to go to the arcades and everything, I was actually pretty good. Like I wasn't one of the bottom tier players or whatever. And
what were you playing in the arcades
last year? I'm absolutely I'm probably substandard. Like if the average is 50%, I'm probably hovering around like 40-45% of the player base. Like I'm below.
Were you rocking anything backstage like when you're at AEW? Because they got a bunch of gamers there, man.
Yeah, but you know what happens at AEW was the opposite of what happened to me online. Is where online everyone's too good for me and they whoop my ass. In AEW, I was too good for everyone else and whooped their ass. So,
hell yeah!
Like I tried to, and there were some people like John Silver was surprisingly good for someone who never picked up a Tekken controller in his life. Like he was the one that gave me some competition. But I could get people to play for a little bit, and then just a couple games, and they quit, and then you're not having fun if you just sit there and just let them win or whatever. And then So I tried Tekken 7, couldn't really get anyone. Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3 got a lot of people for one game, and then there was no, I don't understand these juggles and stuff. And then I kept trying to bring games in the locker room, but no fighting game caught on.
Really? Not Omega or nothing? You ever rocked anything with him?
No, I think he's a Street Fighter player, which I don't play really, but I would. But he just wasn't there whenever. I don't know why. Yeah, somehow whenever I brought in my laptop and the fighting game sticks and everything, he just wasn't around. But I'm willing to bet he would have played whatever.
Yeah, he didn't want to get none of that. He don't want none of that smoke.
He doesn't want to take that L.
Fucking around with Impact or some bullshit.
Yeah, he was ducking me. That's what they said. Kenny Omega was ducking Jack Evans. He just couldn't handle it. I would even shot his game, Street Fighter 5, to beat his ass in that.
That's right. Dude,
but the official game of the AEW locker room was for sure FIFA. Everyone's a FIFA addict. That's the big game.
And that game's solid too. For a soccer game. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but that game's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is that I don't think John Silver, who won the first AEW FIFA tournament, I don't think he watches soccer at all. But he was loving that game. So.
Oh yeah.
What and it's funny too, like you say, John Silver's good at Tekken. Do games like that though, like Tekken, and if you remember Soul Calibur and stuff, some Soul Calibur they all take some skill, right, to a certain degree. But dude, Tekken is a button mashing motherfucker, dude. I put my old lady on there and she whooped my ass, and she's just and I'm trying to do moves and shit. And I'm
that's why
I'm a Mortal Kombat kid though, so down forward A, do a special move. But in those games, in Street Fighter, it's all these half circles and this and that, and it fucks me up.
Yeah, you'd like this game DNF Duel then? That just came out.
It looks awesome.
It is one button specials, and at first I was kind of that purist that was what? the wrecking firing. How can that? Now I exclusively just use the one button. So it's so much easier. And like on games like that, we do things down to like within a couple frames of timing. You know what I mean? And every frame is a 60th of a second. So you have like a 30th of a second to hit the button. It's just so much easier just to press one or two buttons than it is to do the whole motion. So
yeah.
being up to if you don't like special moves, there you go.
Are you mostly playing on like Steam and shit then?
Yeah, I don't even have. I have a working PS3, but it's not hooked up. I have a working Xbox Classic, like the old one, the original Xbox.
Big black box.
Then I have a computer. That's the only gaming systems I have.
When you're talking about going to the arcades as a kid and shit, dude, I remember being there, and we're out in me and Stretton are in Northwest Indiana, and Bodie's from the Midwest. He resides in Florida now, but dude, I remember going to the arcades and the lines for like MK or Killer Instinct, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. X-Men. What were some of the arcade games that you were rocking?
The one that I was most into, because like at my arcade, there was Narrows Bowling Alley, which was like far away. That was an arcade. There's this one Vans and Puyallup and Paradise, and those were the three arcades that kind of like you repped wherever you normally went. I was from Paradise, and in Paradise, the biggest game that drew the most crowds ever was definitely Mortal Kombat 2. That's when I put the most time.
Greatest sequel ever, in my opinion, dude. Greatest fucking
MK2 was a shit.
I to this day I get like very nostalgic over that game, just because that I've never actually been competitive in a game really, except for that one. Like that was the only time I ever like would actually say I trained, and you know what I mean. I just go into Pax Phone, do some combos, whatever. Like I trained the specific timing on when and who you could uppercut out of the jump cut or jump and like da. So Mortal Kombat 2 was probably my biggest one ever. But then also another one that a lot of people forgot, and actually the arcades were kind of going down, and I swear this temporarily brought them back up, was X-Men Children of the Atom.
Yes.
It was so huge. It like led into those Marvel vs. Capcom games, but if people don't know X-Men Children of the Atom, it is like the forefather to all those games almost. Like, and it was like people that didn't even play ever games would come down to the arcade just to see it. They're like, oh, I want to see the game that looks like a comic book. Like now it doesn't look like nothing, but then at the time the art style was like, oh my God, we're living in the future, boys. Like, you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like, so X-Men Children of the Atom was a big one for me. Psylocke main, Psylocke all the way, baby.
There you go.
Yes, dude, I was a little kid. Had a crush on her. I was like, damn, she looks good in this game.
yeah. Best character design ever. And then Silver Samurai was my other guy. But if I remember right, man, I just remember he sucked in the game. I don't know why I would stick with him.
Dude, he was awesome in the comics too. Are you a big fan of the comics, or?
I used to be. In like the mid to late 90s, I collected the comics. So like I had not like the Uncanny X-Men, or I still do have it in my house in Washington, but before, like not the Uncanny X-Men or any of those ones, but they came out with a comic that was just X-Men. There was nothing else with it. And I had like the #1 issue with that, and I collected it for like a good couple of years.
Was that the Jim Lee one? The one with like the 5 covers that all come together?
Yeah, they all come together. And I think the first one, if you fold them out, it's like a swimsuit thing.
Yes,
yeah,
dude.
Psylocke was in the swimsuit.
Yes, she was. And Jim Lee could draw, man. 36, 24, 36.
Oh, yeah, that was like early stage hentai for us youngins, or for us older folk. But my favorite actually was when Image Comics first started. I loved them. They had Spawn was my favorite. No one remembers them, but Shadowhawk was awesome.
Shadowhawk, dude. Yes. I still have that comic. What is it? It's like I'm trying to think. All my shit's been put away. I haven't seen it forever, but I know I have it. I think it was maybe it was Shadowhawk 2 #1, where like he actually reveals who he is. And I remember the cover had like a glossy.
Oh no, I want to say that was number 8 or 9. It was down the road. Yeah, because there was a big mystery on who Shadowhawk actually was, and then it would like like go to little scenes on possible people of who it could be. And then there was that I can't remember the number, but yeah, there's that one when you opened up the cover, it was like he was taking off his mask almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, Image, us
I have that
90s
one
kids.
still in my house.
Tell me everybody in the 90s didn't fucking, everybody's like, dude, I need all number ones, Spawn, Savage Dragon, the Max. Huge fucking fan. Everybody's like, I'm gonna become a millionaire in 20 years with this shit. And Spawn number one's only still worth like $20. Right.
Yeah. I think that's why. I think because Image is such hype when it started up that everyone bought it thinking it was going to be like this collector's item. And since there's so many of them, it never did, like they ruined it. You know what I mean? But you know what? Was the most bought comic I've ever seen, and I still have one unopened back at my house, Washington. Was the Death of Superman?
I got it too.
Nice.
I had the white and the fucking black bag.
Oh, see, I have the black. I never got the white.
Dude,
I
remember that. Those were good times.
Where because I used to have a box at the comic store, was what they called it. And then whatever, they would just take one out and put it in your box, and then you went and paid for everything. And so on that one, they weren't, with the Death of Superman, they weren't even doing boxes, because it was just going to be, there's too many people. So it was the one time I ever had to wait in line at the comic store just to make sure I got it. And I don't even think that one's actually worth near as much as people thought it would. Well,
no. Because they printed so many of them. It's like people didn't understand that back in the day. Like the only way something's valuable is because it's rare.
Yeah, exactly. And people already knew how to take good care of comic books, because a lot of those rare ones, like Amazing Fantasy 15, when you're going back to Spider-Man and everything, a lot of the rarity comes because people didn't even think of them as like, man, this can be worth money, son. You know what I mean? So it was rare for someone to actually take keep it in mint condition, something like that. But at that time in the 90s, people already you were 100,000 people that kept that in mint condition. You know what I mean? So. Oh
yeah. Imagine how many issues of Amazing Fantasy or any of these pivotal moments in comic history that motherfuckers' parents just threw away.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and that's why, because there was such ignorance as that comic books would ever be worth anything. So many just got destroyed, and that's why when I was a kid, I think that comic was going for 2,000. I don't even know it now.
Oh, dude, I know a guy, a local guy around here that sold one. He had one. I forget what the fuck, dude. He got it was thousands and thousands of dollars, and it was I don't even know if he had it graded or not, but he was like, dude, it was okay condition. He's like, I want to say, I'm just going to throw a number out there. I'm probably wrong. It was like 20 grand or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's the other thing. I used to collect baseball cards as a kid, and I would take good care of them. And my favorite, I had the Bo Jackson black and white when you had the football thing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back then, it was already worth $15 or something. When I got it, when I was a kid, I was happy about. But then now baseball cards, if you get them graded and it's a 9.9 or a 10, man, people are paying hundreds of thousands.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was a kid, unless it was a little Babe Ruth autograph, you know what I mean? But for the most part, if you heard of a baseball card going for 15,000, you were like, oh my God, that's the craziest, And now that's chump change in the collector's world, at least with baseball cards, so I had to match comics too. Because when I saw that, I was like, yeah, if you got a graded perfect 10 yada 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 card, people pay hundreds of thousands, and it's for one that's only 6 years old or something.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. I around here, we're Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland. ESPN 1000 every Saturday morning has a collectibles show, and they're always sports cards, wrestling shit, just any collectible memorabilia they'll talk about and what they're selling it for. And some of the, you said, some of these baseball cards they're talking about that are relatively new are going at these auctions for a ridiculous amount of money. And I'm sitting here damn, man, that's new shit. I was much like you as a kid. I would have the whole Topps box set, the complete sets. And I lost all that shit in the flood, dude. I Oh, dude, I had so many. I was a huge Dennis Rodman fan too, dude. I had
Okay.
sheets of fucking like holographic Rodman cards, like the metal plated cards, all gone, man.
Gold Fleer cards.
That's such a legendary Bulls team. Like, just to have like anything to do with that would have been not only from what it was worth, but just like how cool it would be just to have that in your collection.
Yeah. Did you ever watch much basketball? You a fan?
I in the mid '90s I did. I used to, like, when it was basically when
The Bulls,
Seattle Sonics, and
yes, I love the Super. I miss the Sonics, dude.
The Rain Man.
So, like, when it was like
Gary
Sean
Payton.
Penn, Detlef Schrempf, Gary
Yes!
Payton, all
Sam
that,
Perkins.
like, Sam Perkins, and then also, but okay. My family's not around, so I could say this. I actually was a bigger fan of the Charlotte Hornets because I love Muggsy Bogues. I don't know.
Fuck yeah. Grandmama.
Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning,
Kendall Gill.
Man, that Charlotte Hornets team, if I remember right, for a little bit, it had Stephen Curry's dad, Del Curry, on it.
Yeah, Del Curry was on it.
And like, even back then, like, man, that's genetics. Even back then, obviously not like his son, but he was crazy at threes. Like,
yeah.
That runs in the family. Because I remember Del Curry was crazy at threes. So that was the main time I watched. And then, like, 5 or 6 years ago, when Damian Lillard was in his rookie season, so maybe even longer, I tried to come back, but like, I didn't have a team, so I was like, okay, geographically, Portland, even though they used to kind of be our enemy, is the closest to the Seattle SuperSonics, so I'll support the Trailblazers. So I tried to come back, and I supported them for a little bit, but it just didn't stick. And living in Mexico, it sounds weird, but sports, you almost need someone to BS about it with. And in Mexico, it's all soccer. If I go outside, we're talking we're talking Americas, yada, yada, yada. So, like, yeah, I just couldn't stay into basketball, like, again, because, like, I just didn't really have a team like the Trailblazers. Like, I'm not an Oregon guy. I'm from Washington. And
well,
then,
dude, you're a Sonics fan. I mean, you should be rooting for the Thunder, right? Didn't they pack up and go down to Oklahoma City?
Oh, you brought up a sore point, if you ask me.
Yep.
And I will want to, because they probably don't deserve it. It's not their fault. But I have to, like, it almost makes me hate Oklahoma City as a whole. I'm so secretly mad at them that they took the Sonics from us. Or even though actually it was kind of Washington or Seattle's fault or whatever, the Sonics left. But so I'm not actually a fan of Oklahoma City. I'm actually a hater that tries to hide his hate of Oklahoma City. You know what?
Hey, you got hate in your heart, let it out.
There's a rumor that Seattle was almost going to, like, I think buy the Kings or something. I can't remember, but they were going to buy a team from California, I'm almost sure it was, and move them up to Seattle, but the deal didn't go through.
I heard that. That was pretty recent, too, in the last several years.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years or so, maybe, right? I don't think it was that long ago, but it wasn't super recent either.
Yeah. Now, how did that play out? Because from my understanding, I don't know I can't really remember if it was like the whole situation with them leaving. Because I know, like, dude, even like Gary Payton, the glove, dude, like the glove, come on, man.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll never, like, Oklahoma City wanted to retire his jersey. He's like, I'm like, no, bring a team back to Seattle. Then you can retire my fucking jersey, you know? But their exodus from Seattle, wasn't it pretty much, I heard it was something to do with either like attendance or they didn't want to build them a new stadium. There was something, do you know, like anything that was going on with that?
Man, in all honesty, and I maybe remember this right, I think after they lost to the Bulls in 6 or whatever, that the kind of Seattle hype did run down, and I think their attendance did go down.
Right. And
the Key Arena needed renovation at the time because it was kind of falling apart.
Yep.
And since there wasn't like, because at one point they were just everything in Seattle, like them and the Mariner, like just
dude.
In Seattle, and then it kind of died out, and it died out like the hype for the Sonics at the same time the Key Arena needed to be renovated. And I honestly think it was something like the taxpayers voted down spending taxpayer money on renovating the Key Arena, and so the NBA sold a team or something like that. I definitely don't have the story right, but I'm pretty sure it was kind of, they just came at a time when basketball, the need for a new arena came at a time where basketball wasn't hot in Seattle, and they kind of let the team just slip away, like the TLDR. That's what I think happened.
It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame.
Yeah.
What other? Go ahead.
With that one guy, I think some dude that's related or unrelated, associated with Microsoft, has for a couple of decades, I guess now, been trying to get Seattle back in. And I guess I'm pretty sure it's Sacramento, but he keeps targeting some team in California where he's trying to buy them out. But for some reason, the NBA league won't have it. So that's actually my hope, though, is that, we just steal one of those Californian teams and move them back to Seattle.
It's got to be Sacramento because they haven't been doing shit for years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Sacramento. I'm almost positive. But somehow it keeps getting blocked. The league isn't letting him do it. But I swear to God, I can't remember his name. But he was on the ground floor, Microsoft, Bill Gates or something like that, if I remember it right. And he's been trying for literally decades to get the Seattle SuperSonics back. So it's only a matter of time, Sacramento. We're coming.
I'd personally love to see the Sonics back.
I think we can all wholeheartedly agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
You need the green and gold, okay?
Such killer uniforms.
They fucking draft, what's his nuts? Kevin Durant. Think about how long Kevin Durant's been in the league now, dude. They draft the Seattle SuperSonics have drafted him,
right? And he's played for almost every team in the league.
No. I swear they had some other star their final year. Someone that became a star their final year too, like a Westbrook style or something. Their final year, they had Durant. They had two future Hall of Famers on their team. It was Durant and someone else. But Seattle, if they would have gotten the backing, or if they wouldn't have left, basically, I really think they would have had a team again. I don't think it would have been one of those long droughts without a team. They used to making it deep into the playoffs or whatever. They had Durant, and they had, I swear to God, it was like a Westbrook or something. But they had another Hall of Famer on their team that final year as well.
Didn't Ray Allen get drafted by the Sonics, or did he play for the Sonics? I thought he did.
Ray Allen was.
That sounds.
Yeah, Allen was on the Sonics for a little bit for sure.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm almost positive Ray Allen played for the Sonics.
Someone will have to fucking let us know because we can't know everything. Yeah.
Someone will know. Someone will know. We're trying to go back freaking so far for me, and I haven't been a basketball fan like I said for years.
Is there any other sports? Obviously outside of being a pro wrestler that you're keeping up with that you enjoy?
There's one I just can't keep up with it because same thing. There's no one around here that to BS with it about. But I swear to God, I think it is the best sport on earth. Australian rules football. It is so entertaining to watch Australian rules football. But like I said, you tune in, it's just too hard to follow. But for just pure enjoyment of watching a sport, if I could only pick one, I wouldn't watch a soccer game, baseball game, anything. I'd watch an Australian rules football game. They're freaking entertaining. Dude,
they gotta be brutal, right? Didgeridoo, didgeridoo.
Huh?
I said didgeridoo, didgeridoo. Dad jokes.
Oh yeah, they're didgerin everything. Oh man, they're cold hard knockouts and everything. But then also this weird entertaining stuff where because if you run the ball in, you only get 1 point, but if you kick it in, you get more. I can't remember. So people go to kick the ball in to get more points, and then someone will jump up on the back of their teammate, so they form a tower just to block the ball. And so there's so many entertaining plays in Australian rules football. So just watch you don't have to watch the whole game, but even the highlights, you'll understand what I mean. You're okay, yeah, this game's good.
Fuck yeah, brother. I'm on it.
I've seen some of it.
Dude, let's go back a little bit further to there's one thing that kind of sticks out. There's a lot of us nerdy wrestling fans out there that enjoyed the Wrestling Society X on MTV.
Okay, yeah.
Tell us what that experience was like, man, because it was very, very fucking short-lived.
It was a great experience, and One of the coolest things is they actually went to like they didn't go cheap, I should say. It's like they had us up in like the Grafton Hotel or something. So like there was a couple guys that got to go to a bar and they got to like see Lindsay Lohan and downstairs. So like there was all these funny little stories of like a wrestler somehow interacting with like some kind of Hollywood celeb or something, or like. So that part was entertaining, but the most entertaining part of WSX was just some of the weirdest. It was one of the weirdest collections of wrestlers ever. Like, it was just such a strange locker room. Like, literally everyone from everywhere, from so many different generations, and like people had major beef, like Vic Grimes and New Jack, and then like that goes back to ECW. But then all of the new guys, like they're just like, well, we don't know the details or whatever. Like, so we're like, can you two just calm down? Like, and
settle down, New Jack.
Oh man, New Jack was what a wild man. Like,
dude, you get to party with him at all?
No. He's he showed up. Like, I don't talk crap about his past. Like, but he showed up like all drugged out with a little person in a purple like pimp outfit, and then like they're just doing God knows what, like just kind of making a scene anywhere they go. I don't know how to explain it. And then they had to tape something from New Jack, and there was a ramp to go down, like a loading dock style one or whatever. Yeah. And when he went to go down it, he didn't slip, like he literally just passed out. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like timbered, wham, face planted like on the ramp, but like it wasn't like on flat ground, you know what I mean? Because it was like at a 45-degree angle or whatever. And then like, New Jack was wild, man. Like, just observing him from a distance was very entertaining. But like the most intimidating man I've ever met in my life, for sure.
Oh, I bet. Oh shit. Why do I even say no shit? Because I mean, dude, he was a straight up thug, man. Like, right? If he didn't like you, or he felt
he
that,
really was. I think I walked too far away from the Wi-Fi or something, but so I started to pace up and down, and when I got to my kitchen, all of a sudden it cut out. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Stay put, Jack. Stay put.
You gave me talking about New Jack. I started to warm up, getting ready to run. I'm scared.
He's like, somebody better call Ghostbusters. New Jack in the house.
No. What a guy. Like,
well, dude, I mean, and that was, like I said, it's got like this weird nostalgia, like almost like cult like following nowadays. I mean, do you like guys like Scorpio Sky was there? I think X-Pac
was there,
shit with them? And they were having some wild ass shit. Like, weren't they the ones doing the? Because I'll be honest with you, I'll shoot straight with you, brother. I never had a chance to watch any of it. I've seen like clips and highlights on YouTube, but I've never sat down and watched any like a full episode. Didn't they have like piranhas in the fucking fish tank matches and shit?
Kind of. I don't know. They, I guess, looked like what you'd think a piranha looks like, but like they didn't actually have like those sharp teeth or anything.
They were probably like silver dollars or whatever I think they call them.
Yeah. So like I think like even to this day, with how much kayfabe is broken, there's a lot of people.
It's so broken. It's more broken than fucking Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, so no, they were not real piranhas, but yeah, they did have stuff like that, because what they were trying to do, Kevin Kleinrock, was almost like almost a little. Do you remember the promotion XPW?
For sure, brother. Yes, for sure.
Most over the top, like they really had this underground, grimy vibe, like just
porno stars.
Porno.
And I still got VHS tapes.
Like, he honestly wanted kind of like a tamer version of that, where like you have this underground like death match feel to it, you know what I mean? But it's not, like porn and cussing and da da da. So, but he brought in a lot of those like Big Japan and XPW and ECW gimmicks. So he had like the piranhas, the like exploding barbed wire or whatever. But I say this anytime WSX comes up. But the one problem is that he wanted it to still be kind of, not XPW level, motherfucker, you know what I mean? But he wanted to still be gritty. And the MTV execs just wouldn't have it. Like, you know how on like TV shows, everything you'll see a joke about the executives just being completely like clueless and lame and like that. Like that's not even an exaggeration. Like I really feel WSX could have like done something and could have gotten like an audience, especially those like that time when everything was like extreme and everyone was angsty. I really just think like a gritty like wrestling soap opera like that, because it basically was like Lucha Underground. Like you didn't have promos, you had vignettes, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it was a scene. And I really liked that. I really liked that Lucha Underground as well. But man, when those MTV execs came up, like they would just want to add so much cheese to everything. So all of a sudden, like
kind of like the boys in WCW,
like
you know,
electricity, like on the barbed wire or whatever. It turned into where it was like this cheesy fireworks show, and like you just had to cut out this and that, and
exploding
like,
barbed wire death match.
Yeah, but you can have this barbed wire death match if you do it right. Like when FMW would do it, it would look grimy. You know what I mean?
It was the fucking
like,
best. Yes,
sparks and this and that, and so like
Kenny Omega can't wire an exploding ring.
It was supposed to, like I said, be gritty, and it got turned so cheesy by the MTV execs that I feel that's what really wrecked it. Like,
which is weird because you look at Jackass, for instance. You know, I mean, they put that shit out. Like, have a little bit of faith. And when you're saying execs, it makes perfect sense. You know, go back to WCW and all these jackasses that were execs at Turner that were running the company that knew jack fucking diddly about pro wrestling, you know?
No, and like with them, they'll get some statistic in their head and just live and die by it. It's like, oh, I read that 28% of this demographic likes this, so we're going to do that. And it's like, oh, well, you know, no matter how logical an argument you have against it, like, that's it. Nope, we want that 28% of that demographic. You know what I mean? Like, so it was crazy seeing like that, like kind of Hollywood machine working, because it was like, man, it lives up to the stereotype. It really does. Like,
yeah. Well, MTV is what it was when we were kids. We were enjoying it, and I was getting ready for school watching fucking Soundgarden music
Liquid
videos.
television.
Black
Eon Flux.
Yeah, dude, that video was fucking great, dude. I'll take a couple boomers and watch it right now. What you know? What you know?
See, I remember way back in the day, the Headbangers Ball was.
Yes, dude. I've been trying to get Ricky Rackman on the show, man.
Was he the host? Was that his name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, man, I'm so glad you told me that. I have such a clear image of him, but I was like, man, I can't remember his goddamn name. But like, so, like, yeah, MTV used to be that kind of like grittier, cool. You know what I mean? Like from the Headbangers Ball to even Yo MTV Rap. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, like counterculture fucking programming.
But I think WSX came during the time where it was making kind of more of the
reality. Yeah, it was corporate reality TV based shit.
They were, oh my God, MTV at that time, everything was somehow like, can we make a reality show out of this? Like,
yeah. Or they would show movies, you know, and that's what they do still to this day. The only thing, dude, like I go on my TV and I'm scrolling through the channels, and MTV's got like 4 fucking different channels now. There's like MTV Classic and this and that, and they play like the worst fucking videos most of the time. But
all the time,
dude, I'm like, what does the M even mean anymore? Is it just media television? Movie television?
Meh.
Because you go on there and you're watching like, what is it?
You're watching ridiculousness for like 18 straight days.
That's what Bodie just said. With me and Angelico, we'd go on the road in America, and that was our thing. Like after the show, we just always knew we could turn on MTV and ridiculousness would be on. So to us,
that's ridiculous.
For ridiculousness. I know that doesn't make sense, but I'm talking at one point, we were like, man, is ridiculousness on 24 hours a day on MTV?
Yes.
So we looked it up. There's multiple days in a row where, yes, ridiculousness was the only thing MTV played. And then the only other show that was like a couple days later was a Teen Mom or something like that. And it just blew my mind. I was like, dude, I was just joking about this being a 24-hour ridiculousness channel, but it really actually was. It was that and Teen Mom.
Yeah, at that point, dude, they might as well queue up the old school, go with the Cranberries. Zombie.
But so like I like MTV for that because just ridiculousness is just such a mindlessly entertaining show to fall asleep to.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's like that's what MTV was for me. Is get back to the hotel, eat, put on ridiculousness, fall asleep.
Well, speaking of Angelico, dude, I mean, you guys, and this is going to tie in the two little segues here because I very much hold and thank you and everybody in the fucking crew, Lucha Underground, near and dear to my fucking heart, dude, because that to me felt like the most real revolution, if you will, in pro wrestling in the modern era. Because of how it was presented and the athletes that you got to see, like you guys, and what was it, the Worldwide Underground?
Yeah, Johnny Mundo, PJ.
Dude, that shit was so fucking original, so amazing. So many people stole shit from that. Like everybody's like wants to give, and I'm sorry you can hate on me for this opinion, but it's the fucking truth. So to quote this guy, the truth is the truth. Matt Hardy didn't start that shit, dude. That was Lucha Underground that was starting, like you said, the vignettes and the like cinematic stuff, you know, and people saw that and they were like, holy fuck, what is this? You know, this is way before COVID. This is all this, you know, and then the story was created. It was done in the ring, right? Traditionally, but it was more so through the vignettes, which was presented cinematically. So it was just like.
See, that's the thing. I really thought that was going to start to catch on where people
I did too.
Like, hey, let's take pro wrestling and just make it a fucking soap opera.
Yes.
Let's just go all out. Because like when all of a sudden you saw that Ricky was secretly an undercover cop investigating the temple the whole time, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I just thought like pro wrestling is ripe to be mixed. Or pro wrestling is basically should be a live action comic book, like, and that's what Lucha Underground did, or not should be, but one of the styles that can be presented as that I don't think has been explored enough is that Lucha Underground style where you present it as a live action comic book, and you just have these crazy angles where it's not you talking to the camera and cutting a promo and you know blah blah blah. Like again, not that that's bad. I don't want to sound like I'm down on it, but when you actually have like these crazy stories where like there's this magical temple, Dario Cueto's trying to resurrect ancient gods or some crap. This undercover cop is infiltrated. Like I loved it. I loved the way it was presented, and like you said, like I thought it was so original. Like they were willing to be unapologetically insane. Like yeah, Drago's a dragon. Fucking Aerostar can fly. Like you know what I mean? Like
yes.
So
yeah. And they introduced America to all these great luchadors and these AAA guys, dude, which in a lot of the ways, including yourself, dude, because you'd been around the block by that time for a while, man. But that, like, really, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about it, was like a platform for you to, like, Jack Evans' American audience, you know?
Well, it was because I was out of America for like years at that point. Like,
yeah,
there was like 4 or 5 years where I didn't even wrestle a single match in America. Like,
because you did your CZWs, your TNAs and shit, but
but I mean, for the most part, almost nothing. And then like, that almost like relaunched me and like made me get noticed again to start getting like American bookings.
Dude, it's just. It sucks. And I don't know, in your opinion, what do you think the downfall of that was? Just like creative and lack of money or lack of like streaming? Because I know it took them a while to get like on streaming platforms. And I thought once they hit El Rey, I was like, okay, yeah, El Rey, dude. And El Rey went down.
I think the real thing is that it was no one's passion project. El Rey got this money to start up like a network with like specifically like kind of Chicano programming, like that's who they were targeting and everything, and so they got it. And then I just don't feel like it was anyone's pet. Like no one really wanted to make it that much of a success, so like they kind of like took the money they got. You know, they started up the Robert. I love the movie. I can't remember the name of it though. From Dusk Till Dawn series. They started
Robert Rodriguez.
So one of the big things was, even though maybe those individual shows were someone's passion project, there was no one at El Rey that was trying to get El Rey itself noticed. So I think that was the big thing, is that the Lucha Underground, I think it could have totally found an audience and everything,
But I just don't think anyone knew about El Rey more than anything. So I think that was the biggest problem. Because, like, for the El Rey audience, Lucha Underground did really well. But you know what I mean? You're like the big fish in a puddle. And there's no one trying to expand that puddle. So I don't think it was as much Lucha Underground's fault on why it failed as I don't think it could have succeeded, because I don't think anyone that was out there just going beat down, putting in advertising money, and all that, just get the name El Rey out there.
Right. I mean, because you guys were bringing in, and like, it was a huge fucking deal. I mean, to fans, and I would think to talent alike. I mean, we were getting Rey Mysterio there.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Yeah. I mean, who's the most recognizable luchador of the last, like, 25 years, 30 years?
I think at this point, I guess except for Santo in Mexico, but worldwide, I think Rey Mysterio is the most recognizable luchador ever.
Exactly, because of WCW and WWE branding, dude.
Yeah, 100%. But so that'd be why Lucha Underground went down. There were some other problems though. One is the Hollywood style contracts do not mesh with, especially independent pro wrestling, at all. Because they'd be like, oh, you got to take, or you can't take any bookings from like October to January because we might be taping sometime in that period.
Keywords might be.
Yeah, might be. And the thing is that you got paid per like season. So when the season's over, you're not getting paid or whatever. So you have to take that time off. And if they don't tape, you don't get paid and you didn't take any shows. So there were a lot of... you guys couldn't take any of those independent bookings, could you? Well, not at first, but people just started to, because there was one season where there's like, I swear, a year and a half of waiting in between the tapings. So people, so there's all the stop and go, like, oh, we're going to tape in this month, no, this month, da, 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 da. And so eventually, like, people, like, they just didn't listen. They just started taking the bookings because it just went on so long. But so those Hollywood folk, like, that was like you getting buck with them, you know what I mean? They're like, "Why you're taking these bookings, you're under contract, blah, blah, blah." And so, like, to them, I don't think they understood that, like, man, you can't just do that. Like, an independent wrestler, like, has to have independent bookings. Like, I don't have to play it, like, but they didn't take it that way. So that, I think, started the rift. Is how the contract works. And then you started to get people that wanted to get out of their contract, started to be a little political stuff, and like it just kind of broke apart by like season 4, I'd say. But it all started with the contracts.
Yeah, man. And such a fucking shame because, dude, like I said, that was I felt like
wrestling around.
Yeah, I felt like ECW vibes off of that.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Like in the modern era, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what they're doing is so original, and it was better programming than the best globally branded fucking brand WWE out there. Better in-ring, better vignettes,
better everything.
Right, I just think just the overall concept, like I said, like just make wrestling a TV show, the soap opera, like
yes. It was the best because it was a TV series about a wrestling company, whereas like WWE was a wrestling company trying too hard to be a TV series.
Yeah. Or what I think this is that it is just a TV series. It is about a wrestling company, but it's more than that, because when you have it like a TV series and you're just blatantly telling people like this is not reality, you can do that crazy ass stuff.
Yes.
You can have Katrina be a ghost. You can have, Dario Cueto like come back as his older brother. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, that's a great point.
What I liked about Lucha Underground the most is that like it said no qualms with being unreal. Like,
right?
You know what I mean? Like,
it brought back the suspension of disbelief too.
Yeah, but like in the craziest way. Like I said, like you could time travel in Lucha Underground and it makes sense. Like,
yes.
So like I really like that. Like I really not every promotion I think, but I really wish there was one well-funded promotion that would just give it its all and just take it into that cinematic route.
Oh my god.
Where you have the vignettes and everything, but then everything's settled in the ring. Like, so it's almost like a live action
stunt show mixed with the vignettes, like almost like WMAC Masters. I don't know if you all remember that.
Yes.
Show.
Oh,
dude.
wow.
Fuck yes, dude. What's Bruce Lee's daughter hosted that shit?
Yeah.
Shannon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
Dude,
but
WMAC Masters. Fuck yes, brother.
and again, WMAC Masters, that is maybe a bad example because it's too cheesy, but like I just really feel, and I don't mean gritty.
Product of its time, though.
But yeah, but if you just had like a show that it just wasn't cheesy, just like I said, just a live action superhero show that uses pro wrestling, I just really think it could get over.
Totally.
For sure, man.
But again,
dude,
it all comes down to, like, people have to be able to see it, because with Lucha Underground, like it with the audience that saw it loved it, but there was such a small audience.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
and I think El Rey wasn't on every fucking cable package or what have you. I think there was a time too where a lot of providers had taken it off. And I think, I can't remember who it was specifically. We'll just throw DirecTV out there or whatever. And there was like an uproar, I guess, about it. And they ended up getting put back on, at least one of them, I think. But yeah, it's the same thing that like Impact kind of suffers from now. I think they have a great product, but there's not enough eyes on it,
Yeah, that's actually the absolute truth about Impact right now, huh? They actually do have a really great product, but they just don't get the attention.
Yeah, and dude, I was
Killer shows.
so looking forward. Now, this might tie into the deal with you worked that GC Dub match with another good bro and former guest Ninja Mac, which is, dude, that's a fucking dream match in the half.
Yeah.
Because you guys just tore it up.
No, but in that match, in the end, I ended up knocking myself out on a 630.
Yeah, I seen that. So is that, I mean, obviously, is that, because I can't remember the time frame, is that why you had to pull out a Slammiversary?
Yeah, it was the day before. So those next two shows, like, I actually didn't want to pull out. Like, I was hoping they didn't see anything. Of course they did. It's Twitter. But I completely, because I instantly knew. I was like, if they knew I got a concussion yesterday, they were going to pull me. They're going to pull me. So I kayfabed it. I got in the ring. I was like going over ideas, looking at it and all that. And all of a sudden, Scott DeMore comes up and says, Jack, we got to talk. And instantly it's like, fuck, I'm getting pulled. He saw it. And I was like, so I saw the GIF on Twitter. And after that happened, we can't be having you know what I mean? So I was like, TNA was the one. They pulled smart. I shouldn't have been wrestling a damn concussion, but I tried to, if I'm truthful. I completely kayfabed it. I told no one about it. I wasn't saying anything, and then all of a sudden it just spread like wildfire. And like, once Scott DeMore saw it, he was like, "Yeah, that's not happening."
Well, I mean, and it's probably within your best interest. That's what they're keeping in mind. At least you got people that give a shit. But is Impact a place? Because I remember tweeting at Juice Pro Podcast. You motherfuckers want to follow. As soon as I heard about you AEW not renewing your contract, I was like, dude, Impact, come on back, Jack, come on back, because you and Mike Bailey and all these Trey Miguel, like, imagine all this fucking magic you guys could create,
Yeah, so, but I don't know now. That was just about the worst impression you can make. Like, I guess not a first impression because they know me, but like, man, I just feel so bad. I cost them a plane flight and a hotel room for nothing. So they're probably right now like, well,
you know what? That's the business. That's the nature of the beast. Look at AEW when they're letting guys wrestle still on the indies and your guy gets fucking hurt, what do you do? Same thing impacted that. Like, I think Sami Callihan had an injury, like not this most recent one he had, but before that, and they were pissed at him, like, and he runs his own Pro Wrestling Revolver. Like, what do? You're setting yourself up for failure essentially, but you want to be cool to the talent. And hey, if I'm not going to have you on the road and pay you like WWE does, like basically 365. You guys are independent contractors. You guys have fucking families to take care of. You got to be able to go work somewhere, you know? So that's kind of the risk you take. I wouldn't think they would be sour on you. Like, in my opinion, as a pro, if I was booking a wrestling show and now you're a free agent, dude, holy fuck, dude.
Oh, no, I don't think they're actually sour on me, but it just sucks because it would have been like a time to show them something, they do, especially in Ultimate Mix match and everything. And instead it just turned into like this, not that they're sour on me, but it was like a useless, like, missed opportunity. Like,
well, there's always more shit down the road, brother. Something else I kind of want to cover real quick. What essentially is your association with the Hart family and training in the actual dungeon? Were you one of the last few to do so?
Yeah, you know what? I might have been the last person to get stretched by Stu Hart, but it wasn't in the dungeon. No, as bad as everyone talks about how bad it was getting stretched by Stu, when I was younger, I'm willing to bet it was. He would show you all these cheap ass little like tricks in wrestling that you can do if you don't like the guy. And like one of them was the lockup, like when you're doing it, to like run your forehead against his nose. But the thing is, he would just give you a live demonstration, and like it's Stu, so you can't say no. So you know what's coming. You know some kind of painful cheap ass shit is coming along. And also just like his headbutt across the side of your nose. You're like, oh yeah, Stu. If I have a problem with a guy, I'll definitely use that one. But then, the craziest thing about Stu, I want to say it was like 88 or something, 80 something. I can't remember. And he still had the most insane grip strength. I can't. It'll sound like I'm exaggerating, but I swear to God, like I think he could like crush freaking pure. I think you'd crush coal into diamond, like just the strongest grip strength. And then I did train in the dungeon a little bit, but I have to admit, like the dungeon was like, it was a really weird place. So sometimes it would be a great, like if Bruce Hart wanted to train you, he could be a great trainer, and he absolutely would be. But most of the time, he honestly just used it to cut rib, but like in the most malicious way possible. Someone that he didn't like, because the Hart Dungeon, like every week would just get some new guy from somewhere, like, you know what I mean, from like Wisconsin, from Nova Scotia, some and he got one guy from Newfoundland, and he just decided he didn't like the guy. So for 1 week straight, there was nothing but what he called chop practice on this guy from Newfoundland, and the Newfies, they call him. And it, like, I've never seen a chest look like this. Like, it was the most, like, it started to like curl up where it looked like it was like ground beef, but like on the skin or something. I don't know. And then
That's a lot of meat.
But literally, so thousands. I'm not even exaggerating. Thousands of chops on this guy, and I never participated in something like that. So I did technically train in the dungeon, but not that much, because there's just so much shenanigans and hooliganism going on. I mainly actually trained with TJ and Harry up at this place called BJ's Gym, which is Ted Hart's dad. He had a gym. So like I am technically like a student of the dungeon, but no, I skipped the VAT. I've been to, I'm telling you, in 3 or 4 years or whatever it was of living there, like 30 to 35 practices. Like, so.
Dude, it's still, I mean, you're guilty by association, motherfucker. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing to be guilty of. Like that's tradition. That's, like you said, to go through that. I mean, but hey, man,
if there was could have been the most entertaining reality show, but in a bad way, it would have been that Hart House at that time. Like, oh man, the amount of drama and everything. And the thing is that every Sunday, no matter what, like clockwork, they would have Sunday dinner. And so all of the family members would show up to Sunday dinner.
Righteous Gemstone style.
It sounds like it'd be this bonding moment, and it wouldn't be a bonding moment. It would just be a time for them to go at each other. Like, oh man, that was quite. That was a madhouse, the Hart House there at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, we do.
What do you like working more, face or heel?
I like working heel more usually, but I actually think I work better as a face, just because the one thing about
pretty.
And well, thank you. Well, no, the one hard thing about being a heel is if you do too much cool shit, you start to become a tweener because people like the stuff you do. So like, oh man, it's actually really hard to balance my move set with being a heel. Yeah. Because like, if you're sitting there doing twisty moonsaults and all these crazy spots all the time, like
it's obvious you're trying to please the fucking fan base. Then you're doing shit like that, you know? Come on.
Yeah. So I actually think, even though I enjoy being a heel better, actually I work face better, just because like you know what I mean? Like when you're a heel and you like high flying moves, you really want to do it properly. Like you got to figure out a heel way to set it up, you know, after a low blow or something, you know what I mean? Where as a face, it just like, it's part of your job is to do cool shit or whatever. So I think I wrestle better as a face, but I prefer heel.
Yeah, I enjoyed you as heel, dude. Like I said, Lucha, most of your career, like your heel work has just been excellent, dude. Like it's the one thing in AEW, and I don't really want to fucking talk about that. That's already been done and noted. I mean, other than the good shit, that is, you guys did some really cool stuff, and I was like, wow, I was so happy when you guys came in because you could tell it's like, man, they were watching, Tony and them were watching Lucha Underground, you know, like. Bringing you guys in as a tandem, you already had that U.S. attention established, you know, as a tag team. Like, I thought it was fucking, the sky was the limit, man. And
what I always tell everyone when they talk about AEW is I think the sky was the limit. And I really think like it was that I messed it up. Like I really got lazy and like I didn't want to excel, like just do enough to pass by kind of, you know what I mean? And like out of shape. So I think when we first got to AEW, the sky was the limit, or at least pretty high.
Because to me, you guys working are just as I love the Young Bucks. Don't get me wrong. I don't just love them for their in-ring ability. Call it what you want, the politicking, the work rate, whatever. They pretty much, you take the Young Bucks away, just like Omega or anybody, Hangman, anybody else. There's no AEW, you know, like. The business sense to bring tag team wrestling to the forefront to make shit cool. But you guys had a fucking moveset that would match, if not be a little more creative. And we're already talking about a couple of cats who are super creative, you know? So I was like, just like, damn, dude, feed us this shit. Feed us, you know, TH2 and Young Bucks like 50 fucking times. Or you guys in the Lucha Bros, dude.
Lucha
like
Bros. Private Party.
We would have gotten to wrestle, well, both the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, especially Lucha Bros more, because we actually can just do some crazy stuff with the Lucha Brothers. But, like, again, that was my fault. Like, I had a singles with Penta on a dark.
Yeah.
And it was just like a match, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do, like, I should take advantage of that and try to show, like, how well we can actually work together so we could maybe get a feud and everything. So there's a whole bunch of little stuff with AEW where, like, I didn't take advantage of the opportunity.
No, and it's all good, man. You fucking live, you learn, you know, and it's, I wouldn't think the door's, like, closed on that, you know? I mean, come on.
No, I don't think they have heat with me when the door's closed. But I just think that, in all honesty, obviously everyone wants to be on the salary, but I don't think they should be re-signing anyone. I don't think they should be signing anyone new at this point. Like,
no, dude, they're overinflated. You got to start.
Yeah, like,
it's weird.
Like,
we love
I'd
AEW.
like to get back to AEW, like for personal financial reasons. But if I was AEW, I'd be like, no, like we can't add any more people to this roster.
Well, and that's the great thing. I mean, now that you got the AEW rub, so to speak, so you're even further well known. You know, Jack Evans, even though boy has been around the block for a long motherfucking time and paid his dues and whooped some fucking ass along the motherfucking way, dude. You can go work Impact. I would admit the matchups in Impact. Fucking MLW. You've been working GCW. Like there are so many like Warrior Wrestling. We fuck with them a lot out here. Steve, what up? Steve and Eric. great place to work. We'll put you in these scenarios where you have like, much like GC Dub did, you and Ninja Mac, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You should do next time you wrestle Ninja Mac.
Better. I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. Yeah, my wife was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm holding the charger into my phone.
Brother, I appreciate it, man.
Better acoustics.
yeah.
But dude, next time you wrestle Ninja Mac, and dude, I gotta bring this up. You gotta bust out the Blitzkrieg gear again, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
the only
please.
thing is, I don't know who owns the copyright to Blitzkrieg.
Really? Like, you think the E owns it? Because
Well, I think they might, but it was so long ago that I should check.
dude, I'll
this
put it
out.
to you this way: Brian
I
Cage
almost
could
wonder
do
if they let
Mortis
the
if he wanted.
copyright, on it, like, run out. Like, because you know what I mean, like, is someone in WWE really like, oh, we better recopyright the Blitzkrieg gimmick? Like,
I don't think it would be that big a fucking deal. I think you could do it. And dude, imagine the pop. Your social media would be popping because wrestling is huge, but it's not huge like we're accustomed to back in the 90s and 80s. Everybody looks at ratings and people still bicker about that bullshit, but it's totally different. The way we consume everything in our everyday lives is like so different, so like short-lived, and like very ADHD. Your social media would be popping, dude, because there is a rabid fan base of wrestling. There's so many people consuming it digitally and like these short little clips and shit that's not counted with the 1 million or less AEW viewers or the maybe 2 million WWE viewers because how it's all presented and how we watch and how maybe some people don't even watch some of the shit and they get their information from us, like outlets like us, like it's just.
I actually think the number one way that wrestling is watched these days is gifts on Twitter. So like whenever I'm wrestling, I always joke around with people to get your gifts in because there used to always be a saying like get your shit in. Yeah. But like now my thing is get your gifts in.
Dude, some Blitzkrieg gifts, man, coming back. I'm telling you, bro.
Like I swear to God, some of those gifts will be watched by more people than anything else you'll ever do. Like so, I would like to bring it back in that, but the thing is, I actually only think there's a certain niche of people that would even understand who Blitzkrieg is. You know what I mean? Like, because that
you'd have to do in GC Dub. That's a fan base
or whatever. He was only in WCW for like a year or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1 year. So he's like a nurse now.
Fan. Yeah, he was doing something in the medical industry. I couldn't remember what, but
hey, Jack, it's okay to say he's a nurse. Male nurses are okay too.
Oh, no, I don't know what it is. I don't know. You said I heard it was a chiropractor. So
was it?
Well, I don't know. But nurse, we're gonna go with nurse now that you guilt shamed me into it.
See? Brother, as we wind down here, I wanted to have this conversation with you because we're all big fans, and especially Sretton and the Kevin Smith thing. You guys did that in AEW. I know you're a big fan of him. Like, dude, I heard you say in an interview with Van Vliet, like, I'm probably the only one that likes Mallrats. It's not fucking true. It's not
I love Mallrats,
brother. There's like, you just added three
fucking
more
love Mallrats.
Love it.
There was one interview where he came up and like, I think it was after Chasing Amy, and he was like, I'd just like to apologize for Mallrats. And I was like, really?
Mallrats got me
my
into
favorite
his
Kevin
universe.
Smith movie.
It wasn't Clerks. It wasn't Clerks.
I'm right there with you.
I have to be honest. It was, even though I saw Mallrats first, even though I saw Clerks first, I didn't care that much about Jay and Bob and the Kevin Smith world or whatever until Mallrats. I thought Clerks was a good, quirky little movie or whatever, but I'm not actually a Clerks guy. Like you, it was like Mallrats where they're talking about, like Superman coming through Lois and Lou. Like,
would you have to wear a kryptonite condom? Or hey, Mr. Svenning, would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
Yeah. So I was the same way. So I just always remember whenever Kevin Smith comes up, I remember this one interview I saw was like, I just like to apologize for Mallrats. And I was like, what? That's like,
why?
Actually, Dogma is my favorite, but Mallrats is probably second.
Yeah.
Wow,
so Mallrats has like
statement. That's a bold
Mallrats
statement.
has like the best one-liners too. They have some of the best commentary back and forths.
That was passionate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, like the back of a Volkswagen?
Fucking no, the customer's always an asshole. I tell that to people at work all the time. I use that quote still to this day.
The customer's always an asshole, and that's truth. That's truth being spoken on there.
True.
Yeah, for sure, brother. What was that like? Like being a huge fan and fucking meeting him. You get, like I'm sure you had backstage interaction, right?
Yeah, we did. He was exactly like you'd expect, like just how he comes across on like podcast interview every or whatever. Like that's just how he is. The weird one though is Jason Mewes is a little bit like he's just in his own world a bit. Like I don't know how to explain it, but he was still cool as hell and everything. But like, yeah,
I can totally see that.
Huh?
I can totally see that Jay is like in his own little universe.
Yeah, he like really like he'll. I actually do this too a lot though, where you just space out like trance, and then like someone will have to like bring you back into reality. But like that would happen to him all the time. Like,
that being said, so I mean, you're saying Dogma is your favorite Kevin Smith thing. Have you ventured outside of like the View Askew universe and seen like what is it, Tusk, Sretton?
No, I really want to see Tusk so bad. What was the one? Man, I was watching it with some friends. I can't remember. I didn't get to see all of it. Red State. Red State was good.
I don't think I've seen Red State.
I haven't seen that, but I've heard good things.
Oh, it's like, I guess it's a horror movie, but it's like a horror suspense or whatever. But about like these like fundamentalists out and whatever. But the thing is, like, there's just a lot of little creative moments where like they hear these horns blowing and they think it's the horns of God. So like it just has some good scenes, and like I really liked it. I thought Red State was good. I've never seen Tusk except for I don't know if it was a trailer, but a little highlight thing that showed the monster.
Oh, dude, the whole changing of that would suck. Like, think if that really happened to you. If someone was crazy enough to do that, that got into me mentally. And it sounds stupid and silly because it's a stupid and silly concept. And when you see the body, is it body dysmorphia, like changing
like body horror or body dysmorphia?
Yeah,
I was going to say body horror. Like,
and he's like,
it messes with me because
I want to puke, dude. Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why. Like, I can take gore, like slasher flick style gore, better than that. Like body horror, like creepy appendage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, but it really grosses me out. Body horror. So, like, I bet you I would like Tusk just because. Like, even Human Centipede, I know it's a ridiculous concept, but like it's one of my worst fears. Like, just had like.
What if you're abducted and abducted and then conducted on experimentation of the human flesh?
I couldn't. So,
yep. Only to come to find you sign an Apple contract and you're the new Apple iPad. South Park fans, you know what I'm talking about.
It's so stupid.
All right,
it's a good episode,
brother. Dude, I think I can speak for all of us, and these cats can say what they want to you as well. But dude, it's been an honor and a pleasure having you on for episode 200 and fucking chopping it up with you, dude.
The anniversary episode. I hope we did good.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope so too, brother. The only way we can is if we keep, interacting with cool people like you,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I hang out in the closet too sometimes. It's all right.
Cool Ass Jack isn't just a gimmick.
You're gonna do this to me.
Hey, I do want to. On occasion, I open my mouth to kiss the guest's ass. I don't know if we need like a bit intro for it, but I do want to say thanks for the entertainment. I was 96 like WCW fan and obsessed with pro wrestling. Like it was, I'm 5 years older than you guys, and so I was like a 80s WWE kid for a few years, like Saturday morning, and that's kind of it. And then jumped to
Lord Alfred Hayes.
Yeah, jumped to 1996, 7, maybe a little bit of 8. I was a WCW fan, and then I didn't touch wrestling or know shit about it until I met Wallace, and then I met Bodie. and he was pitching AEW. And when Dynamite started, like, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know you guys. I didn't know you or Angelico or the Young Bucks or any of these guys. And that first year of Dynamite, like, you were part of the crew that made me get quickly back into pro wrestling and addicted. And like, yeah, and now we're at episode 200 of the show, and you gave us the time to, you know, answer questions and be a part of it with us. And I just want to say thanks. Like, thanks for the entertainment, man, and good luck. Like, in the future with all the shit you're gonna do. I hope you get to do everything you want to do, and we get to watch you entertain some more, and fucking also stay healthy and concussion free. Because fuck all that.
Yes. Oh man, please let's not bring that up. I can't believe that. And it's one of those things, it's a move I've done 1,000 times. And then like when I see it and I walk back, like I know everything I did wrong on it, and why what happened. But my thing is, I'm like, but why? Like, it should be naturally ingrained in my body at this point just to do things a certain way. And so like, so that move's retired for just a little bit, because like I'm almost worried about that, because I'm like, why did I do it so differently this one time? And but anyway, but thank you for all the compliments, and I'm very happy that we got you back into pro wrestling.
Fuck yeah, man. Bodie, anything you want to say?
Man, I've just been a fan for years, and I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you and hearing your stories, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do, because I think it's just starting right now for you, and you're going to be a huge name. If not already, I mean, you are, but I'm just saying, like, coming up, you know what I mean?
I'm a little bit of a name, a little bit, but come on now, let's be honest. I've never made it past mid-card.
Hey, neither have we, brother. Episode 200, why not do it together?
Exactly, mid-card for life.
I'm trying to tell everyone in wrestling, I'm like, obviously everyone's the main eventer, blah, 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 but for the most part, the actual best job is mid-card jobber. Because there's the least amount of pressure, you get your TV time, you get to do some cool stuff, you get a decent paycheck, and then there's no pressure. So if anyone out there is like us and has never made it past being a mid-carder, don't fret. You got the life. You did it right. You did it right. Like,
you heard it from the professional first. Come on, guys.
Yep. That's no mid-card jobber. I'm dropping gems of knowledge on you.
See?
Come on.
Dude, being blessed
Come for
right
a
here.
podcast, stay for the seminar.
Right? Dude, Jack, but yeah, like these guys have said, and I've said many times, it's ass kiss sesh, dude. I really appreciate it. Dude, this, like Sren said, starting this episode has been, or this whole fucking show has been a journey for us. It's been really cool. It's been very just off the cusp. And we've kind of built as we've gone. And as I hope that you've witnessed and seen tonight, we're, three handsome and entertaining motherfuckers, and pretty cool to hang out with, So, dude, I agree. It's been a fucking journey, and I just want to take the time right now.
One final question, because Mr. Bruiser Bodie knows useless trivia facts about music, right?
I do.
Test his knowledge.
Uh-oh.
Round one.
Remember A Flock of Seagulls?
Oh yeah.
Can you name them all?
Can I name them all? Oh yeah. Hell no.
Okay, never mind. I take all compliments I've given back.
Yes, please do.
Okay. This podcast is not Flock of Seagulls fans. I can't believe it's made it to 200 episodes. I'm so pissed right now. I would never come on. I was told that you were giant Flock of... No, I'm just kidding. So I don't know why I rant at all.
Someone lied to you about the Flock of Seagulls fan.
I don't even know why that came to my head. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting.
It's all good. I prefer Duran, but anyways, I digress.
Yeah, you do.
Everybody that's out there watching, listening, thank you guys. Thank you for supporting from our infancy to right now, where we're still really infant and wetting our diapers on the front and back. But hey, at least you have a good time doing it. Thank you guys for following us. Please continue to do so on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on every podcasting platform out there. YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button and share with your fucking friends. Jack, real quick, where can everybody find you on social media, and where can they buy some shit? Do you have some merch you want to hawk on these pro wrestling faithful?
Because all my merch went to AEWs, and I've been a lazy bum with getting it done. So I don't have merch for sale, but if I did, you should buy it. But you can find me Who Has Jack on
Instagram, and Jack Evans 711 on Twitter, and also this weekend
it is 7-Eleven.
Yeah, Jack. I used to hang out outside of a 7-Eleven. Man, almost like clerks. I used to hang outside 7-Eleven all the time. So it's just Jack Evans 7-Eleven. But anyway, and you find me at Catalyst Wrestling in New York this weekend, July 16th. I will be facing Kobe Carino, and I will destroy him for the sins of his father. I hated his dad. And
Destroy the son of Steve.
I'm going to destroy the son of Steve. I can't do the metal voice. Okay.
One day, I'll hit me up. We'll do a vocal coach session. But dude, anytime you want to come on and fucking kick it, and you have something to promote, or you just want to shoot the shit, man, you're more than welcome. Our door's always open, man.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
much love, much
up
respect.
on my music knowledge.
Yeah,
all right,
and much love and much respect to everybody. Episode 200. It was a fucking blast. Until next time, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up.
Wet 'em up so fucking hard because we're so fucking wet for Jack Evans, and you should be too.
Yeah.
You gonna do sex to me?
Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!